Hello there, Lynny here, and today I'm going to be talking about the 4 of not exactly popular things that I am obsessed with. I will be discussing topics that are basically from an unpopular series or on an unpopular character. These things are not exactly hated, but are considered underrated, not talked about, or just completely forgotten about in general. Before we start, I do want to say that the footages I will be using are not mine, and I didn't really think about it until last minute, but all the footages go to their original channels and not my own, so I do apologize. Now with that being said, let's get started. Number 4. The Ape Escape series. Ape Escape was a video game series developed and published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation. It was about an albino monkey named Spectre who basically becomes super intelligent after he puts on what is called a Pippa helmet. Basically, it causes him to go crazy and wants to take over the world with the help of his brainwashed Pippa monkeys. So you, the protagonist, have to catch these monkeys with a monkey net, bringing them back to their original timeline to save the world. Now, unfortunately, I've not personally played the first game, so I don't know much about the original, but from what I've gathered story-wise is that Spectre basically breaks into the professor's lab and uses the time travel station as a way to change history, attempting to wipe away human history and I guess apeify history, if I could say it like that. I could be wrong, so feel free to correct me in the comments section. But I have played Ape Escape 2, Ape Escape 3, a little bit of Pumped and Primed, which is kind of like Mario Party, but it's Ape Escape, and I have also played Ape Escape Academy. There was even an animated series that was only released in Japan called Sarugetsu on Air, and I think it had like a second season, not really sure if it was considered a second season, and it was called Sarugetsu on Air 2nd, which had a similar plot, but they added Spectre's henchmen called the Freaky Monkey 5. They were very much based off the Power Rangers because they're all color-coded, which is a little bit humorous to me. You had Monkey Red, Monkey Blue, which is my all-time favorite character of that entire series, Monkey Yellow, Monkey White, and Monkey Pink. Unfortunately, the last game to be released was PlayStation Move Ape Escape, which was released back in 2010, which was 13 years ago. So I don't think I'll be seeing any sort of Ape Escape media anytime soon. Overall, I really enjoyed the series as a whole and still have a lot of fun replaying these games. Number 3. The Time Splitter series. Time Splitters is a first-person shooter video game developed by Free Radical Design and was actually a launch title for the PlayStation 2. To try to explain the story as simple as I can, an alien mutant race called the Time Splitters created a time portal as an attempt to basically kill off humanity to extinction so the Time Splitters could take over the world. Jeez, that's the second time I've described an inhuman creature racing, time traveling to take over the world, I guess. In the first game, you play as different characters depending on the timeline of the story levels that take place in. Now, in my opinion, the first game isn't great to me, but it was the very first game in that series, so I can't really judge it that much. But when Time Splitters 2 came out, oh my goodness, that was its peak! Now in this story mode, you play as Sergeant Cortez alongside Corporal Hart to break into the Time Splitter space station to retrieve the time crystals. Cortez and Hart were able to hold the Time Splitters back as Cortez goes through the time portal to retrieve the time crystals. Cortez's appearance actually changes to what fits with the timeline, so in the levels you actually play as different characters in each level in the story mode. What's really cool to me is that the characters have their own backstory and objectives to each level, which pops up as right before you play it. After Cortez retrieves the time crystals, the Splitters break their way inside, and unfortunately Hart is killed by the Splitters before Cortez could jump in. So you, as Cortez, have to hack the terminals to make the space station self-destruct, which puts you on a time limit. Yeah, that's fun. After Cortez successfully escapes with the time crystals, he flies away in the spaceship right before the Time Splitters space station self-destructs. Then Time Splitters Future Perfect was released, and was actually published by Electronic Arts, still developed by Free Radical Design. The story in this one, Cortez returns to Earth with the time crystals, but unfortunately the Space-Time Marine headquarters was under attack by the Time Splitters. Cortez's spaceship crashes, and the Space Marines help guide Cortez back to the HQ. On the arrival, he meets up with the General and Anya, who is the Chief Science Officer, and helps Cortez along his time-traveling journey through the uplink to the time machine. The objective in this story is to find the time crystals that were used to start the Time Splitters War and destroy them before the war ever began. However, along the way, the mastermind behind the Time Splitters War kept time jumping to escape Cortez. Along the journey, Cortez had allies in each level, which a couple of them were actually in the original game. It's later revealed that the mystery time traveler was Jacob Crow. His goal was to create immortality, basically eternal life. He just wanted to live forever. He did some pretty messed up and illegal things to try to achieve such a goal. Turns out, Crow actually created these time splitters and turned himself into this ultimate immortal time splitters machine thing. Long story short, Cortez beats him and destroys the time crystals and saves the world. Yeah, you can tell I know a lot about this series. It's a very interesting story to me, and I just really like the whole concept to it. Number 2. Joe from Blue's Clues. Now, Blue's Clues in general is very popular, but everyone talks about Steve, the original host. Everyone knows what Blue's Clues is, but if you haven't watched Blue's Clues as a child, I would just like to start by saying, you missed out on a lot. My condolences. But basically, the host lives in this storybook house and owns a dog named Blue, who is, well, blue. In the show, Steve was heading off to college, introducing the younger audience to his brother Joe. Joe was the host from 2002 to 2006. The show had a reboot later on, and Steve and Joe's cousin, Josh, was introduced as the new host from 2019 to 2025. Now, everyone knows and adores Steve, and people like Josh as well, especially the younger generation. However, one host always stuck out to me as a child, and that was Joe. Joe, to me, was a lot more energetic and goofy, while Steve, to me, was a lot more reserved. I appreciate both hosts with their different personalities and interests. As a kid born in 2002, I watched both hosts around that time with the help of reruns and VHS tapes. I liked Steve, don't get me wrong, he's fantastic, but I always related to Joe a lot more. Energetic, goofy, and as the younger sibling in my family, it just made sense to me. Also, he has a plush duck named Boris. I love it. Joe isn't hated, but he wasn't very popular. But in my childhood eyes, I absolutely loved him. Number 1. Archie from Pokemon. But Lynny, both Archie and Pokemon are popular. This is very true. However, I do not like this design of Archie. I don't hate it, but to me, it's overrated. This Archie is who I like. Say what you want about this design, I do not care. But back in my high school days, I was obsessed with him. A little too obsessed. It's a very simple design, and I think he's a very handsome man. Fan of the games or not, you probably already know the basic story of the games. Catch Pokemon with the Pokeball and have a Pokemon battle with the Pokemon. Archie, though, is the leader of Team Aqua, whose goals are to find the legendary Pokemon Kyogre and flood the entire world to its very beginning. The reason behind such a goal is because Archie feels that the world has become too broken and that all humans focus on is pursuing their own selfish desire, which is why Pokemon are suffering. He had good intentions behind his goal, but that would be mass genocide to all humanity. Any sane person would think about that. Archie didn't, apparently. So why do I like this man? He's cute looking. That's it. That's all I have to say about him. Yep, those are the 4 things that are unpopular that I am obsessed with. Do you like anything that's considered unpopular? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye!